Welcome to Finpod, your daily financial digest. I am Evan, and we are here to break down the day's market action. Finpod is brought to you by Fintwit.ai, your go-to platform for real-time trading signals from X and expert stock recommendations. Let's dive in. Snowflake is dominating the conversation after reporting first-quarter earnings that easily beat expectations, with revenue growth of 33% year-over-year. The company also announced the acquisition of Natoma to bolster its security and AI connectivity, plus a major multi-year compute and AI agreement with Amazon, sending the stock surging over 30% in after-hours trading. Meta is also in the spotlight, rising nearly 4% today after announcing a global rollout of paid subscription plans for Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp, a move seen as a strategic push to diversify revenue beyond advertising. Meanwhile, IREN is up over 13% today, continuing its momentum after securing a significant $1.6 billion hardware procurement deal with DELL to purchase NVDA Blackwell systems for its AI infrastructure. NBIS Group also saw action, with shares rising after a hedge fund revealed a new stake in the company, highlighting continued investor interest in its AI cloud growth story. Looking at the broader market, we saw a relatively quiet session today as investors positioned themselves ahead of key economic data, specifically the PCE inflation report due tomorrow. The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq finished effectively flat, while the Dow managed a modest gain of about 0.5%. The market is clearly in a consolidation phase, with investors balancing optimism over AI-driven earnings against a watchful eye on interest rates and inflation metrics. Oil prices also retreated significantly, dropping below $90, which provided a slight lift to consumer-facing stocks, though the overall mood remains cautious. In the AI economy, the focus remains on the massive capital expenditure cycles required to build out the infrastructure layer. Beyond the hardware giants, we are seeing a shift towards software-defined AI, as companies like Salesforce look to prove that their AI agents can drive tangible, recurring revenue. The industry is also grappling with the dual nature of AI adoption, with new research from Workday suggesting that while AI is boosting productivity and reducing burnout, it is also contributing to a so-called connection deficit in the workplace, as employees spend less time on non-transactional interactions. Meanwhile, Thomson Reuters today released a new standard for what it calls fiduciary-grade AI, aiming to set a higher benchmark for accuracy and accountability in professional contexts. Turning to stocks in focus, beyond the big movers, we saw Bank of Montreal report a very strong quarter, with adjusted earnings per share up 40% year-over-year, supported by broad revenue growth and solid performance in its capital market segment. On the flip side, we saw some volatility in the software space, as investors continue to weigh whether AI investments will translate into near-term margin expansion or if they remain a long-term capital drain. Salesforce in particular was a major focus, as its earnings report provided a vital update on the adoption of its Agentforce platform. To wrap up, today was defined by strong earnings-driven moves in the tech sector, specifically from Snowflake, while the broader market indices took a breather ahead of tomorrow's inflation data. We saw continued momentum in the AI infrastructure space with IREN and NBIS, and a strong financial showing from Bank of Montreal. Thanks for tuning in to Finpod. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment if there is a specific sector or stock you want us to cover next. For stock recommendations, visit Fintwit.ai.